settle in before they begin this ACC season.
As you mentioned, Missy, Marcy Byers is in her first season as this Virginia Tech head coach leading this program, and that was a really good opportunity for her to see what she has in her gym. Everything has been so different, and it's even more complicated when you're taking over a team that you don't really know the players personally or on the court.
You better believe it. You think coaches aren't counting days? She said we had 22 days together before everything was shut down because of COVID. She knew the exact number of days she had with her players, and she was itching for more time with them.
Well, Bree Postema will step back to the service line for the first time. A freshman setter for Virginia Tech. We expect to see them in a 6-2 offense, meaning they'll play 2 setters. Same thing for North Carolina. And the first swing and the first kill coming from Destiny Cox.
There's Destiny, as we already mentioned in the open, swinging from the right side. She and Carly Peck will both swing from the right side for UNC, and look for them to be their go-to players.
Postema will go to the middle to Tasha Vipond. And Virginia Tech will get that point to even things up. Ashley Holman on it, the transfer from Alabama. Into the middle goes North Carolina with some authority. Kaya Merkler, the freshman middle.
Wow, this is a true freshman out of Chapel Hill. What a beautiful swing right down the middle. Great setting choice there for UNC as she gives Kaya a one-on-one opportunity, and Merkler cashes in.
So North Carolina is going to make their subs. Carly Peck and Melon Mitrovic will come in. Carolina running that 6-2, so they will have all 3 attacking options for this whole time they're in a 6-2. Postema going behind her and was looking to get some contact with Marissa Serko, but there's a big Tar Heel block.
And that's a huge stop early for UNC because Serko off of 1 foot, that is her best swing there on the right side. She led this team last year in kills. So getting inside her head early will be good for that Carolina defense.
Mitrovic on the serve again. Postema this time going to Vipond. They send it way outside to the sophomore Parker Austin. Katie Smith finds the block and uses it for the Hokies.
And Courtney, I think that's what Katie Smith does so well for the Hokies, is that she's a great swinger against 2 blockers. She so consistently has 4 hands in front of her face, and yet she finds a way to get it done.
Well, she's going to need to do that because North Carolina was really good with their block last year, Missy. They were 2nd in the ACC, 16th in the nation in blocks per set.
Yeah, and you get a look at it again. I tell you, we asked Coach Segula, can you repeat that blocking performance from a year ago with this squad? And he said emphatically, we won't lose anything this year in the blocking game. And there's a great look at Parker Austin, the sophomore, with a big block of her own. She was in the top 10 in blocks per set last year in the ACC.
And Missy, that was as a freshman.
Yes.
Extra hustle from the Tar Heels results in a free ball opportunity here for Virginia Tech, but way out of system, and the swing is going to be long by Katie Smith.
That's a tall order there for Smith, who so often is asked to bail the Hokies out of bad situations, but that time you see her on the chase for a ball tight and dying inside. Really not a lot of options there for the graduate student, I should say.
Parker Austin has North Carolina rolling here with her serve. Some power out of the back row from Holman, and it's tipped down. Angel Robinson working hard in the middle. And the middles, we talked about this, Missy, before the match. They're going to be an interesting position to watch because it's really all new faces.
Yeah, these are 2 teams who ended their season a year ago playing one another on this very court, and yet this is a whole new match, and that we've got 4 different middles on the floor. So we'll definitely follow that over the course of the match, their ability to get involved.
Swing from Asia Buckner, the freshman out of Memphis, Tennessee. So Virginia Tech has made its substitutions. Talon Jackson comes in. She is the other setter in this 6-2 offense for the Hokies. Smith decides to go ahead and swing at it. Mitrovic. Point for North Carolina.
And as we mentioned those new middles just moments ago, Kaya Merkuler, the true freshman of the four, getting in on the action right away, and she's off to a really hot start.
It's always interesting to see how these middles adapt because, one, they haven't had a summer to work together because of COVID, and now you're trying to get on that tempo with your setter. And both of these teams are using two setters, so it's just getting on the same page.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up, Courtney. Not only are they new hitters, but as you said, working with two different setters in the gym, I would think there's so much room for growth for both of these sets of middles.
And it goes outside. Well, what are the odds that they ended the series here? They ended their seasons here, playing each other last year. Virginia Tech actually won that meeting in 5 sets. North Carolina was having to switch to a 5-1, so they didn't really feel like themselves.
Yeah, that was really a huge upset for Virginia Tech to win that last one. UNC finished 3rd in the league just a year ago.
Yeah, had a winning record for the first time in 3 years, did North Carolina. Logan Mosley called it off real quick. Quick attack from the middle with a light touch for North Carolina.
And that time it's going to be home in there, 13 in white for Virginia Tech, a grad transfer from Alabama for the Hokies. And much like Smith, Coach Byers said these are two players that she feels like can bail them out of tough situations. And I think we've already seen that here early in this match, how much they're going to put on the plate of their two big pin hitters.
Hey, that's going to be an ace for Katie Smith and the Hokies. Oh, so I think they've overturned that call. They said it was out. I saw the line judge put his flag down, signaling in, but that's overturned, and North Carolina will serve. This is Annabelle Archer, the other setter for UNC, and it's long. They'll trade service errors. Does it give Virginia Tech an advantage having already played one match this season, Missy?
I think so, definitely. I mean, for both of these teams, there's so many new pieces to the puzzle, that ability to, iron out some of the wrinkles for Virginia Tech, work through some of those nerves that you're going to have, and also to be on their home court. This is, where they practice regularly. So I feel like there's definitely some advantages here for Virginia Tech.
Swing is long, point for North Carolina. We played at 25. You have to win by 2. If we go to a 5th set, we would only play to 15. It is best 3 out of 5. Brian Shannon on the serve. They'll get the set from Worrell. And a swing from the back row for Katie Smith. Out to the left pin they go, Parker Austin. Holman is blocked. Check out North Carolina. Amanda Fegley and Destiny Cox.
Exactly, Courtney. Speaking of those middles getting involved in the action, here's the transfer from Penn State. Amanda Fegley out of the middle for North Carolina, recording a block of her own.
Middles have looked pretty good so far.
Very good.
It's pushed to the back, point for Virginia Tech, and Tasha Vippond, the transfer from Lafayette, actually played basketball for 4 years and now is back on the volleyball court.
Interesting story. Not only does she change schools, but changes sports. Coach said her length and athleticism is really what's gotten her on the floor, and that's just happened over the last couple weeks. She's a surprise starter for them.
Service error for Postema. Corinna Worrell is the libero for North Carolina in that light powder blue jersey, that Carolina blue. bump set going to Parker Austin. And it looks like North Carolina was in the net.
Whirl electing to bump set that ball behind her. A really nice choice, trying to, catch the block off guard, but it's a little tight. No room there for Parker Austin to take a full swing.
Destiny Cox is blocked. Hey, check out the height at the net for Virginia Tech.
Vipond, another new middle in this match. Great job closing to her left. Really nice block set up out there by Katie Smith.
Swing long from Austin, trying to go cross court, and a little too much on it. We're tied up at 11.
Maybe a little adrenaline here early, Courtney, as we've seen quite a few errors from the left sides for both of these teams.
There's been so much buildup to this moment, to finally getting to play, and it was on pause for a long time. It was, we're going to play, we're not going to play. The preseason became an unending preseason almost.
Yeah, we're normally a month into college volleyball at this point, so these girls have been waiting a while.
Katie Smith gets the bump set and puts it away.
Just can't give Katie Smith this much court. You see there's a big hole in that block. That's a lot of room for Katie Smith.
Ashley Holman serving. UNC has to track it down. It was touched by Virginia Tech.
And Courtney, I know one of the things that UNC is trying to do this year offensively is play fast to the left pin. So with that, I do think there's going to be a few more errors. They're going to take a few more risks with a timing set to the outside. But right now, I'm sure they feel like they are their own worst enemy and that they're sort of keeping Virginia Tech in this one with so many errors right now early.
And this will be a really good test for both teams. As we've got a pause here. And they're asking for Ashley Holman, the captain, to come over. Stephen Shepard is our up official for this match.
And Courtney, as we mentioned, Holman, a graduate transfer from Alabama, and you see her there as the floor captain for the Hokies. I think that says a lot about her as a player, for her to have been here at Virginia Tech for such a short period of time and to act as the floor captain for this team.
So Holman has gotten the message from the up official. Okay, so there was a challenge on this, and remember the original call was that there was a touch by Virginia Tech. So it was a point for North Carolina. Each team gets 3 challenges per match, and whether you win or lose those challenges, that's all you get. Once you use one, it's done. So they can go through this whole play and see if Virginia Tech did touch it. Do you want to look for fingers moving at all? This might be a great angle.
And Courtney, my initial reaction is that it had been an error by North Carolina. I didn't realize that the touch had been called as I was talking about the error there. So I guess I'm with Virginia Tech on this one initially. Of course, it's always nice to slow it down and get a slow look at it. The officials don't have that advantage in real time, do they? But thanks to replay, we can slow down and try to get it right.
Terry Martin is the R2, or the down official, so he's the one that's taking a look at this right now. The challenge by Marcy Byers. Melon Mitrovic, the freshman setter out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, has come in. She actually graduated a year early to make sure that she could come and help out the Tar Heels. Holman tips it over from the back row. To the middle goes North Carolina. Kaya Merkler has had 2 pretty powerful kills from the middle.
Merkler, a 2019 Under Armour All-American at a high school, and she is showing us why. along with the other middle for North Carolina, Fegley, she actually enrolled in January. So she was on campus for 6 weeks for UNC, but then of course everything shuts down, so she didn't quite get that early semester experience she had hoped for.
Yeah, but the good thing was Joe Segula was so pleased that they came in early, Missy, because now more than ever, it's important to know what the culture, what the expectations are of this program, and that's what they learned in those 6 weeks. They laid the foundation for coming back after a long delay and getting right to work.
Yeah, you better believe it. They could definitely pick up a lot quicker and get rolling this fall than if they had not been on campus at all.
Tech evens it up at 13 all. Playing to 25, you have to win by 2. To the outside pin, and Parker Austin.
Again, you can see North Carolina doing their best to run a little faster attack to the left pin. And in this match, it might not look perfect. You can tell that they've got some work to do. It's a work in progress, but you see where they can have success with that faster set there to the left side, like that last one to Austin.
Oh, wow, a miscommunication there on the back row of North Carolina, and just an easy point for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, the gym is so quiet. These teams being asked to really create their own energy with fewer fans in the stands. And you can't say I didn't hear my teammate on this one. You can certainly hear each other. I think no one was talking on that one.
Missy, we're doing this match remotely, and if we were there, I'm sure they could hear everything we were saying.
Yes.
Well, North Carolina is the first to 15 points. Opening set here in the first ACC match for both of these teams here in Blacksburg. And Virginia Tech, it's been pretty close and a little bit messy, if you will. The first time anybody's played some volleyball since probably December. Courtney Lyle and Missy Whittemore with you. They'll try the right pin. Parker Austin is over there for North Carolina. Buckner with the tip. And North Carolina tries to go up and block it, but it's pushed out.
And that's a Katie Smith there for Virginia Tech on the right side, typically swinging from that left pin, but got stuck over there on the right side and serve receive. And that's a great thing about Smith and Homan, the two outsides for Virginia Tech. They are so versatile, and they play all 6 rotations, Courtney. So coach feels like they always have a 4th attacker on the floor because they can run them out of middle back. And as you see, they're comfortable running them from either pin as well.
Yeah, we've talked about how both of these teams are running that 6-2, meaning that they're going to always have 3 options to go to in the front row because the setter will always be back row, but what a luxury to have the back row attack option all the time.
All the time for Virginia Tech, and they do not hesitate to set that ball out of the back row to Smith or Homan, and both of those ladies are very verbal in calling for that back row attack. They don't shy away from it at all.
Service error.
Coach described
Katie
them.
Smith.
Coach described them as those bailout outside hitters, and I think we're certainly seeing that tonight.
Annabelle Archer back in to set for North Carolina. Also running the 6-2. Joe Segula felt like this kind of fit his team right now. They're really excited about the freshman setter that they have in Melon Mitrovic, but they didn't want to just throw her into such a coming off a weird off season to just run a whole team when everything's different right now with COVID protocols and practices and everything. So they really like this 6-2.
And I think for UNC, it's a matter of making the most out of your talent. They have such dynamic right side players in Cox and Peck that the 6-2 allows them to really highlight those 2 individuals. And they happen to be really comfortable swinging from that right pin, which not all right-handed players can do that.
Archer goes behind her. It's a little tight to the net. Here comes a swing from the right pin. Sierra Powell also has to push that one over.
Sierra Powell is a player who's somewhat new to the right side. She's not super comfy yet, coach said. She's played on the left side some. So the more reps she gets, they feel like she's only going to get better.
Ashley Holman on the attack. And it's wide, point for North Carolina. Alex, thank you so much. You're joining us just at the right time. A close one here between Virginia Tech and North Carolina. Courtney Lyle, Missy Whittemore with you. And we've seen a little rust from these two teams, but it has been a close first set here in Blacksburg. Comes a swing from Tasha Vipond. And the point will go to North Carolina as it's Destiny Cox, the preseason All-ACC selection. She's a big piece of this North Carolina attack, Missy.
Oh, you better believe it. She is such a dynamic swinger. Coach Segula feels like she and Carly Peck, who both swing from the right side, have that ability to be their go-to attackers this year, but his hopes are that this can be a very well-rounded team. He thinks that their strength can really lie in their diversity over the course of the long season.
Joe Sekula, in his 31st season as the head coach of North Carolina, was just inducted into the North Carolina Volleyball Hall of Fame back this summer. And he was very positive with the group that he has. It's been such a weird off season, but they have pushed through, and here we are actually playing some volleyball this fall.
Felt like it would never happen, Courtney, but here we are. Exciting to see the ACC get underway last night and continue play again tonight.
Oh, wow, the extra effort. Ashley Holman, the transfer from Alabama, over the scorer's table. That's somebody who hasn't played volleyball since December.
This is why Ashley Holman's the ACC Player of the Week this week. Coming off of a match with 12 kills and 0 errors, she goes after everything just like that. She is full speed ahead all the time. So much fun to watch.
Man, how about that? Parker Austin, this block for North Carolina is dangerous.
It certainly is. This is a team who was 16th in the nation a year ago in blocks per set, Courtney. Top 3 in the ACC in blocks per set, and they're looking to match that performance again this year. With a lot of new pieces on the front row, they think they will not lose a thing. If anything, maybe get even better. And because there's so many new pieces, Coach said this is a team who's really going to have to grind it out offensively early on, and he's hoping that their blocking defense will keep them in some matches.
Well, they already have 4 total blocks as a group so far in this opening set. That's a pretty good start. Playing to 25, you have to win by 2. It is the best of 5. And there's a service error from Ashley Holman.
A couple missed serves here for Virginia Tech are probably making Marcy Byers, new first-year head coach at Virginia Tech, want to pull her hair out. She wants them to be aggressive, though, Courtney. She said when she came to Virginia Tech, she got the gun out, the speed gun, and was really challenging her servers to be mid to upper 40 miles per hour, and they're serving that low hard ball, trying to keep it right above the net tape.
She's really excited about what this program can be at Virginia Tech, but it is an overhaul job, and she knows that these players she has on the roster are up to the challenge. That was one of the positives that she told us, that everybody wants to learn, wants to listen, wants to buy in to what she's going to bring to the Hokie program, and that was a really good thing to see.
You know, she said as a new coach, it can be absolutely miserable if you don't get the buy-in from the existing players. And she said that has not been the case at all with these Hokies.
Look at Asia Buckner just flying out of the back row.
Really big swing from Asia Buckner as they run an X play there, bringing her down the middle. And that's going to be a key component to North Carolina's offense this year as they really try to move the pieces around in the front row. You notice it wasn't a real fast set. They're going to keep it a little bit simple in terms of the speed of the offense, but be more versatile in the number of different attacks that they use.
Both of these teams here, as we have set point for North Carolina, running that 6-2 offense, meaning they will always have those 3 attacking options. And the setter will always be back row. Coach Byers feels like that's Agula and his North Carolina Tar Heels come out and take that opening set. Their first match of the season, first ACC match for both teams. Bowman with the roll shot from the back row. Mitrovic tries to set it up, but there's a block there from Virginia Tech. Still set point for North Carolina.
Angel Robinson in the middle, and we just talked about the length and athleticism, hoping for block touches, and Angel Robinson answers with the block stuff even better. And as you said, Courtney, a player who only played in 30 sets last year of the 121.
What a long swing coming from Asia Buckner, and there's the point as a double contact is called. Wow, that is how North Carolina is going to win their first set of the season. They take the opening set 25-22. So much more volleyball, and they won the tournament and the regular season last year. Just a cool 21 national titles for the Tar Heels women's soccer program. No big deal, right, Missy? That's okay.
Yeah, just average.
Yeah.
Wow, so impressive.
Well, their volleyball team's feeling pretty good after taking that opening set. But looking at this stat sheet, I don't know if I would have looked at North Carolina's column, saw that they hit 0-49 in the opening set, and have thought that they won.
Yeah, not only do they hit 0-49, they hit 0-49, which is less than Virginia Tech's 106, and they still win. So I think Coach Segula was right on the money when he said, listen, this is an offense that early in the season is going to have to grind it out. We're going to have our ups and downs. We're going to have to work through some lumps. Can our defense keep us in matches? And they proved to him in set 1, yes, they can, with that blocking defense, score enough points to win a set, even if it's an ugly one.
4 total blocks for Coach Segula's Tar Heels in the opening frame. Still playing to 25 points here in set number 2, and you have to win by 2.
You know, Courtney, the good news is also the bad news for Virginia Tech when they go to their huddle after the set 1, because 9 attack errors, 5 service errors. You give away that many points, and it's disappointing, but you got to feel good about the fact that you were still in the first set with so many errors of your own. Those are things that you can take care of on your side of the net, and you're right back in this match.
Marissa Serko puts a point on the board for Virginia Tech, and the serve can keep on rolling from Homan. Good touch by Whirl. Serko this time going cross court on the angle.
This is a nice look at Serko. She's so comfortable off one foot. She tries to attack pretty consistently off one foot on the right side, but coach said that she needs her to get a little more comfy off 2 feet so that she can be more versatile for them in transition.
And that time, a great adjustment there from Virginia Tech. Katie Smith working against that tough North Carolina block. Look at the Hokies go.
She just continues to pound away there at the left pin. Regularly 4 hands in front of her face, and she does not back away from any set. This is a player who, like Homan, will play in all 6 rotations. She had 8 double-doubles last season and 22 on her career. She's all over the court.
Amanda Fegley, the transfer out of Penn State, tacks one on. And that ends the run off the serve of Ashley Holman. Corinna Whirl. Quick to the middle goes Virginia Tech to Vipon. Roll shot just long from Parker Austin.
And of the returning players for North Carolina, Parker Austin, the largest kill producer from a season ago. And I will say that you can tell she is trying to get in rhythm with that quicker set to the left side that North Carolina is forcing a little bit here.
So we've been talking about how they do want to go faster to that left pin. What's that going to do to somebody trying to block that?
Yeah, the hope, Courtney, there is that you are creating holes in the block. that you don't allow time for that middle blocker from the opposing team to close, and it gives you a little more time to get a ball through. However, timing becomes so important for the attacker. And so you have to wonder, as the errors increase, do they raise the level of that set? And that's the fine line. How fast can you go and still be accurate?
And if North Carolina running that 6-2, they've got to have that timing down with both of their setters. So just another little factor to add into it.
Yes, another wrinkle for North Carolina. And this offense that they have admittedly said is a work in progress.
Carly Peck's swing is long.
And you see the response there from Carly Peck, so level-headed. Coach said that she is just a model student athlete, that she is the same every day, to the point where as a coach he said he depends on it. He relies on that. He so appreciates that player that he knows is going to show up in the gym every day with the right attitude.
I'll try running an attack off of 1 foot behind the setter. Just looked a little off balance from Merkler. And that's going to be a challenge, too, when you're trying to run that one-footed attack when you are in a 6-2.
Yeah, Coach said he actually feels like one of the strengths of this UNC team is the fact that both of their middles are comfortable on the slide play. But because they are in a 6-2, they have a right front hitter in every rotation. So that's why I'd expect to see some X plays from them where they swing their right side down the middle. And they're just going to have to get creative and find ways in serve receive, I think, to create that slide attempt for their middles.
And when you get a middle coming off of a slide, that can be so sweet. It is really fun to watch, I think.
It is. It's one of my favorite plays in volleyball.
This time they tried Merkler in the middle. Buckner on the outside, and a free ball coming to North Carolina. Carly Peck with the kill.
But you got to appreciate some of the defensive effort we saw in this long rally as you see Holman there just laying out in the backcourt. Virginia Tech doing everything they can to keep that one alive. You definitely can't fault their effort.
Powerful swing coming from Virginia Tech and Angel Robinson. Coach Byers has challenged her to put in that extra effort, and she's promised her that it's going to pay off.
Yeah, I said, what's propelled Angel Robinson to a point of being on the court and getting some starting time? And Coach simply said hard work is what has propelled her. She's bought into the new culture and really risen to the challenge.
Asia Buckner on the swing. And Corinna Worrell, the libero for North Carolina, has had some pretty nice sets.
Yeah, she really has. She does a great job on her location and tempo of that bump set of keeping her team really somewhat in system in what should be out of system plays.
Yeah, Coach Segula has asked Corinna Worrell and partner Austin to help anchor this passing group. There's the heavy arm from Ashley Holman. Fegley tries to go in the middle. Can't connect.
Little communication there between Fegley and her teammates, and that is going to be so important early in this season for UNC with 2 new middles, as you've said, Courtney in a 6-2, 2 different setters that they're working with over the course of the match, and the more communication on the floor, the better as they continue to work out their offense.
North Carolina struggling with attacking errors tonight. They're hitting 0-18 for the match, and they won the first set.
Right.
Good up by Worrell. And they'll bump set Buckner. Gets a piece of the defense.
Asia Buckner, a young player, only a freshman out of Memphis, Tennessee, and yet coach said she has an arsenal of shots and she's so level-headed. If she gets blocked, if she hits a ball out of bounds, she's not one of these players to put her head down and walk away. She comes right back at it. He said she's just really consistent. He used the word over and over as he described Asia Buckner, poised. He said for a freshman, she plays beyond her years.
And that was a late addition, too, for Joe Segula and this coaching staff. They really didn't get her until May. She was actually going somewhere else to play volleyball. And so that surprised them coming in. Like, she was ready to go and just had herself together, so composed.
Yeah, she was a San Diego State University commit, changed that, and is now with the Tar Heels, following somewhat in her father's footsteps. And gain a little confidence. This is a team who finished at the bottom of the ACC a season ago, has a new coach this year, and she said a daily conversation they have is that they do not want to be in last place in the ACC this year. So they're not afraid to address it. They go right at it. It's a daily part of their dialogue as they look to change the culture here.
So they are going to overturn this call. They say the ball was in, and they'll give the point to North Carolina. Yeah, culture is something that North Carolina has been able to benefit from because they've had Joe Segula there for 31 years now. This is his 31st season, and that's so important when you first take over a program to set that standard. And one of the things that I loved that Coach Marcy Byers was going to do, she said, in our practice facility, we're putting up banners, statistical leaders for this program. You need to come in and want to see your name up there when you leave this program. That's some motivation.
Yeah, but I also thought it was interesting just what these two programs are in such a different place. You know, Marcy Byers trying so hard to build culture at Virginia Tech, whereas Joe Segula has already established his culture. And he said having this 2-month preseason, this extended preseason that went on forever, allowed them to just teach and develop skills more. He said we could teach our system more slowly and we could just develop skills because this is a coach going into his 31st season at UNC. He has spent a lot of time building culture, and so he reaps the rewards of that.
There's a swing there from Sierra Powell from the right pin for Virginia Tech.
Again, coach said this is a player who's just starting to get comfortable on the right side, and as this match goes on, she's looking more and more comfortable. That's a really pretty swing. Does a great job of taking advantage of what the defense is giving her. They give her the line shot there that time, and good footwork on the part of Powell to get in a position to be able to swing down the line.
Coming off of 1 foot is Fegley. They go to the back row.
And Courtney, there was a look at North Carolina first season at UNC, he has spent a lot of time building culture, and so he reaps the rewards of that.
There's a swing there from Sierra Powell from the right pin for Virginia Tech.
Again, coach said this is a player who's just starting to get comfortable on the right side, and as this match goes on, she's looking more and more comfortable. That's a really pretty swing. Does a great job of taking advantage of what the defense is giving her. They give her the line shot there that time, and good footwork on the part of Powell to get in a position to be able to swing down the line.
Coming off of 1 foot is Fegley. They go to the back row.
And Courtney, there was a look at North Carolina going ahead and running the slide with Fegley out of the middle. And if you notice, Destiny Cox was coming down the middle for a front set. They didn't use her, but that is an option that they're looking to build on over the course of this season, running their middles on a slide and using their right sides on a higher ball down the middle.
Keep in mind, this is the first time that North Carolina is getting to test everything out. Unlike Virginia Tech, this is their first match of the season. Virginia Tech played the Citadel last week to kind of get in the groove and get ready after not playing volleyball for a very long time.
Yeah. This will be for UNC, though, Courtney, their only travel match of this shortened fall season. So Coach Segula said, we don't have anything to complain about. This is the only time they really have to go on the road. The other short trips they make, they'll be able to travel and return home the same day. Again, Courtney, I think that's a great look at Katie Smith there, number 1 in white. She's a graduate student this year at Virginia Tech, and you just see how often she is put in tough situations and she finds ways to create kills in those tough situations. Just what you would hope for from an upperclassman swinging from the left pin with so much experience as Katie Smith brings to the floor.
She wants to work for the FBI. She actually interned with the Radford Police Department this summer.
She's pretty stealthy, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's a pretty, it's going to be an interesting career choice. Not a dull day, right, in the FBI?
Not at all. I think she's going to be well suited for it.
Melon Mitrovic, the freshman setter, serving here for North Carolina. Postuma sends it out to Katie Smith. Bump set from Whirl to Parker Austin. Point for the idea was to keep everybody regional because they're trying to limit travel as much as possible to make it super safe, as safe as it can be for these teams, because that's the most important thing, is to keep all these student athletes, the coaches, the support staffs safe and healthy.
Certainly the number one criteria there in creating the pods was location. Wasn't necessarily a balance of competition, and Coach Segula just said, you know, it is what it is. It makes sense. It's safe. I totally understand it. We're all dealing with it. But I think he's eyeing that northern pod that includes Pitt, Notre Dame, Louisville, and thinking he'd really like to test his talent against some of those teams here this fall.
Well, he may have a chance to, Missy. We don't know a lot, but we do know that the NCAA is going to try to hold a NCAA tournament in the spring, and that they are going to allow teams to play a regular season in the spring. And that's about all that we know right now. We don't have a schedule. We don't know how automatic qualifiers will work, but we know that possibility of playing in the spring is there.
And as you said, how will the automatic qualifier work? You have to wonder, some of these conferences who have done away with a conference tournament, could it be the year of the return of the conference tournament? You know, there's so many sides to that story. Some people love the conference tournament, some just hate it. So I'm sure there's people out there hoping for it to come back, while others would think that's their worst nightmare.
I'm on the side of more volleyball is better.
Exactly.
As long as we can do it safely. Asia Buckner with the hammer.
Here she comes again, the freshman who just seems to be warming up and getting more confident as this match goes on. What a great job there of finding the corner. And again, her arsenal of shots. She is not a one-trick pony. She has the ability to move the ball all over the court.
I'll say it was touch, so Ashley Holman will get that point for Virginia Tech.
Another hard-working point for Holman. And don't you feel that way when Smith and Holman are able to score points? It doesn't come easy. They work really hard for their points.
Holman with 5 kills so far tonight, and just kind of snuck up on you there.
And you feel as though Virginia Tech is starting to feel some confidence. You know, they said things felt a little different against the Citadel than they did a year ago. And so you wonder, could they bring that confidence into an ACC match?
Another kill for Asia Buckner.
And this is just a beautiful swing from Asia Buckner. Moments ago, she kills one deep cross court. And look what she does here on a ball set tight and inside. You're thinking block has every advantage here. Look at the length of Asia Buckner. That was a beautiful arm swing to find that deep corner, deep line shot. So impressed with her range as a true freshman.
Yeah, and her quick decision making as a true freshman. Holman with some power from the left pen. She's had stops at SMU, played at Alabama, was there for 3 seasons, redshirted one of those, and then is a grad transfer coming to Virginia Tech.
And Holman is a player on the left side. Wow, some players really struggle with a faster tempo ball. It suits her very well. And Holman's a player who even likes to pass and then take a swing at the ball. It almost puts her in even better rhythm. For Holman, I feel as though it's like the more contacts, the better.
This is Destiny Cox, and it's long. We're playing to 25. You have to win by 2. North Carolina won that first set. Virginia Tech is trying to even things up as Parker Austin comes in. Excuse me, North Carolina ended up winning that point. I thought it was initially called out.
Virginia Tech right back, though, with a point of their own. And they're able to maintain a little cushion here in this second set as they hope to even this match up at 1 apiece.
Roll shot from Cox. And then she's there to close it out with that block. A little stuff from Destiny Cox.
And Courtney, we talked about it in set 1, but if there is a way for North Carolina to come back here in this second set when their offense has struggled at times in this match, it could be with some blocking at the net. They have the ability to score quick points if they can block balls, and a lot of that has to do with what kind of serve they're able to put in bounds. They can give their block an advantage. That's a really quick way for North Carolina to score points.
Yeah, 2.7 blocks per set last year, second in the ACC. Man, Missy, it's like you know what you're talking about.
They make me look really good there. I appreciate that nice serve there by North Carolina to set that up. But a great close here by number 14. Again, that true freshman, Kaya Merkler, to close that block. And when you're blocking alongside Destiny Cox, there's a reason to have a lot of confidence because you've got some long athletic arms there next to you that have an ability to reach over the net and take away a lot of space.
Whirl is going to bump set Cox on the right pin, gets a piece of the block. Postuma in the middle, she goes to Vipont. There's Katie Smith, the layout from Whirl. Keeping it going here, Austin with the swing. Back row attack from Holman is wide. Point Tar Heels. My goodness, Whirl.
And this is really the sort of volleyball that we thought we would see from North Carolina. Just a lot of defensive effort, the ability to score points at the net with their block, but then just to scrap through a long rally defensively and just hope that they can stay in it long enough offensively. And their defense is doing a lot of the work for them right now to bring them back into this second set.
Well, tomorrow night, we're going to have a men's soccer matchup for you right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Wake's first in the ACC. To do that as a freshman, starting at the libero position, really impressive.
Set the freshman record for Virginia Tech, and after a year like that, she had an opportunity to try out with USA Volleyball. really interesting to hear what she had to say about that opportunity. She said the biggest thing she took away from that, getting to play that position with girls older than her, and not just girls older than her, but the girls in the country who are the best in the business at the libero position. And she said, what I learned is how aggressive those players are, not just physically, but verbally. She said, willing to push people out of the way, to take balls. And really, that's what a libero is supposed to do. You know, they're supposed to be the captain of that defense and really adjust people in the back row. And so she said she took away just how aggressive those older players were, and that she wanted to bring that back to Virginia Tech.
Big couple points here. We're playing to 25. You have to win by 2 here in the second set. Destiny Cox, the point for UNC.
And they're calling a touch there at the net on the block. So I think there could possibly be another challenge. The ball landed out of bounds, but the point was called in favor of North Carolina because a touch on the block. And so we are going to have a challenge here, Courtney.
Yeah, this will be the second time that Marcy Byers of Virginia Tech has challenged, so she will have one challenge remaining no matter what the outcome is.
That mask, we couldn't quite see it, but I think she was pleased with that one.
Absolutely, she gets a point. Of course she's pleased.
A crucial point. What a great challenge.
Virginia Tech 2 points away from evening up the match. Logan Mosley serving. And another timeout has been called. No surprise, because this is such a critical point. We saw North Carolina come out. They had a lot of errors in that opening set. They hit under 100 and still won. It was really interesting to see that, and then Virginia Tech is just pushing them and pushing them in the second set.
Yeah, and while North Carolina had errors, Virginia Tech had errors of their own, Courtney. And so the Tar Heels trying to scratch their way back into this one, and guess how they're doing it? Front row blocking. That is really their bread and butter in this match.
7 blocks for the Tar Heels.
And that time it was the true freshman Merkler who has really impressed me over the course of this match. Someone who I think is doing a great job, as Coach Segula had asked, playing within their system. Not doing too much, just doing what's asked of her.
Mitrovic gets the ace. Oh, we're tied up. You got to win by 2.
Little pressure on the true freshman Mitrovic as she steps back to serve again.
Kosuma sends it out to the veteran Katie Smith. The block again. Man, that block has been so tough, and it is going to be set point North Carolina.
Well, UNC described last October as Blocktober, they came to call it, and I think they're getting started on the party.
Virginia Tech. Mitrovic going to Parker Austin. Katie Smith using the block, and just like that, it's going to be set point Virginia Tech.
And remember, Courtney, it was Katie Smith who in the final match last season when Virginia Tech upset UNC went off for a season-high 24 kills.
Austin roll shot. Nice save from Katie Smith. Quick to the middle they go. Merkler. And it's Virginia Tech. North Carolina had a set point, and Virginia Tech battles back to win the second set and even up this match. Hey, we can block too. Watch out over there, Asia Buckner.
And that's a formidable block there for when you pair Serco and Vipond side by side in the front row for Virginia Tech. That's a force.
You know, we've talked about North Carolina's block. What do you think was the best thing you saw from this Virginia Tech team as a whole through those first 2 sets?
I really like the way that Virginia Tech is buying into the effort that Marcy Byers is really demanding from them. And I love the fact that she said, we are going to make errors. And I think this is a team who's really willing to play hard, and you can see that they're not afraid of errors. And early, there's going to be some growing pains, but I think that's going to pay off for this Hokie team. And I love the fact that Marcy Byers has really given them the freedom to play loose. She said there's times where they make the right read and they still don't quite play the ball correctly, but I'm okay with that because it's a system that we have to learn, and she wants them to have the freedom to play hard at all times and not feel like they have to be perfect. If I'm a player, that's a system I can really grow in.
It's a great way to start establishing your program at a new school. I can't imagine what it's like trying to take over a program and then a pandemic hits.
Right. And her husband is on the basketball staff at VCU. They have a young daughter, and she said it was like spinning plates at their house. People were like, well, why do you need a babysitter? You guys are home, aren't you? And she said, oh, no, my mom had to come and stay with us because she said there was no excuse for downtime, and we were using every minute of that time to try to connect with our players and get better.
Still playing to 25 here in this third set, and you have to win by 2. Attacking error there from Katie Smith.
Those are the times where I think these outside hitters for Virginia Tech, I love that they are always aggressive, but there are times where you need to extend the rally. Keep your team in the rally just a little bit longer and give yourself a chance to win that point.
Smith readjusts nicely. And a quick swing by Marissa Serko on the opposite pin will help Virginia Tech get a point.
And here's an example of extending a rally, putting the ball in play, not so good dig by North Carolina, and your teammate gets a second chance, and it's a really nice second chance that Serko is able to put away.
Big swing from Asia Buckner. That pass just so tight to the net. Bri Postema was going to have a hard time doing anything with it.
We've seen some flashes of great serving from North Carolina. I think that, the question is, after a couple good serves, can you keep the pressure on? Can you keep the ball in bounds and try to score those strings of points that can allow you to pull away from your opponent?
It was another tight pass, and North Carolina was able to take advantage thanks to Destiny Cox of Virginia Tech being out of system. And we've got a timeout called as North Carolina jumps out to a 7-3 lead here in the third set. Early timeout by Virginia Tech here in this third set. Matches even at a set apiece. Courtney Lau, Missy Whittemore with you. And Marcy Byers didn't like what she was seeing early on in this third set from her Hokies.
A little pressure from the service line for North Carolina, and all of a sudden it highlights the importance of first contact. Don't we talk about that so often, Courtney? But I think you're seeing it here as North Carolina makes a run here and starts to widen the gap. Marcy Byers said so many of the things they want to do this year are dependent on first contact. She knows how important it is, and another out-of-system situation because of first contact should give Carolina the advantage, and it does. Great job by the Tar Heels on cash in on that great serve. That is completely set up by a really nice serve from Buckner that got Virginia Tech out of system, gives Carolina a free ball opportunity, and they play it out perfectly.
There's a reason every time you ask coaches what they need to do to win a match, they say serve and pass well.
Right. You better believe it. And an error there from Buckner, but I think Coach Segula will take that little service run. She put a lot of pressure on Virginia Tech, and you can see how that goes when you take a look at the scoreboard. You see that pressure from the service line from Buckner, and all of a sudden North Carolina quickly a 5-point lead.
I don't know what I'm more impressed with the freshman Asia Buckner, with her poise or her decision making or her service pressure that she's put on Virginia Tech.
And here, just a high ball down the middle. But what a great job there in a broken play for Virginia Tech to hang a ball up to one of their best attackers. Just get the ball to the hot hand, get the ball to your veteran player. You don't have to be fancy sometimes. You just got to find the right person. And so that's a great find by their setter.
Parker Austin's attack rolls down the tape and falls on the wrong side of the net. Point for Virginia Tech. Talon Jackson will keep the serve going here for the Hokies. Man, North Carolina has looked so solid early on in this third set. Destiny Cox continues to get it done.
And the changeup that time from Cox, she really creates that opportunity for herself after so many big swings early in this match. She has the defense back on their heels, and she just drops one over the block.
She has the most interesting story when it comes to how she got involved with volleyball. Her mom was a track star at North Carolina. And when Destiny was in 6th grade, they had a childcare situation. They needed somebody to help them look after Destiny, and so they asked the girls' volleyball team if she could be the manager for the 6th grade middle school team. And they said, yeah, she can come to practice and hang out after school for a little bit. And here she is all these years later playing for North Carolina.
Yeah, that's a great story. I think it was like a bomb dropped on their house, though, the day that she told her parents she thought she was going to go with volleyball rather than track. They were really in shock. And but, you know, after some time and were able to support her decision, and obviously you can see why she would make that decision. So I think she's at the school everyone expected her to be at. She was sort of born and raised a Tar Heel, but maybe not playing the sport everyone expected her to play, as she was a track star herself early on.
But hey, props to her, though, for following her heart and being honest about what sport she wanted to play. I think that is really impressive from Destiny Cox.
Completely, and her parents have definitely supported that 100%.
Ashley Holman gets this set and will get the point for the Hokies.
And I like what Virginia Tech is doing here. We talked about how often Homan and Smith have forehands in front of them, 2 blockers waiting on them. So look what Virginia Tech does here. Runs Homan down the middle, trying to find different ways to get her the ball that maybe would give her a one-on-one opportunity. And you saw 3 blockers trying to close on her there, but she comes through just quick enough to have some time to swing between the seam.
Set way outside to Fegley. Gets the point anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I like that swing from Fegley because, you know, Coach Segula has said we are not going to be a one-swing offense. We've got to grind it out, keep balls in play, and so this is a really smart swing from Fegley in a not-so-perfect situation. Don't try to be bigger than the moment. Keep that ball in play, live to play defense, and, you know, it works out in her favor as some miscommunication there on the part of the Hokies.
Fegley spent 2 seasons at Penn State, made a total of 15 appearances over those 2 years for the Nittany Lions.
Great corner shot there by Homan, as she just has so much game, so many tricks in the bag, pushes that one deep to the corner. She is so hard to defend.
This is exactly what Marcy Byers was talking about when she said, you know, Ashley Holman just gave us that piece we didn't have. We didn't have that outside hitter that could play 6 rotations with that heavy arm. And that's exactly what they got with Ashley Holman. Free ball coming to the Tar Heels. In the middle goes Tone Tie.
So Tone Tie getting in on the action here, looking comfortable in a quick set opportunity there. Things have been a little slower out of the middle for North Carolina in sets 1 and 2. And Tone Tie, with her experience, brings a little faster pace to the court, Courtney. And I think that's a nice look for North Carolina to switch things up there in the 3rd set.
Out of Athens, Greece, transferred in from Coastal Carolina, the only senior on this Tar Heels roster.
Going to be a service error for North Carolina, and the ball right back to Virginia Tech. You know, Coach said he felt like this Tar Heel team could be a better serving team than they were a year ago, but that they would have to limit their errors. And I think we're seeing that tonight. We're seeing their ability to score points from the service line, but we've also seen quite a few errors.
It's going to be a point for North Carolina. And Sierra Huntley, number 8 in white, has checked in for the first time for Virginia Tech. That's her first career appearance for Virginia Tech, just a freshman.
Yeah. Set up right here, let's go. First ball set up, Gil.
Postema and Marissa Serco a little off on that set.
And remember, Postema is their freshman setter in the 6-2. So as you've mentioned, Courtney, so much of the timing and, you know, not having that spring season to learn one another and then a new freshman setter coming in, it makes those timing plays really difficult.
Huntley's first attack hits the antenna. It'll be out.
And if you're Huntley and you know that you've got Destiny Cox waiting over there for you, you're doing everything you can to avoid that block. She tries to squeeze one down the line, but gets a piece of that antenna, which is, of course, out of bounds.
Holman out of the back row. Merkler in the middle for North Carolina.
And here comes Merkler right down the middle, and we're seeing a little bit faster offense out of these North Carolina middles. Nothing fancy as they're taking the ball right out of the setter's hand, staying in front, but trying to change their offense, finding ways to score points offensively. As they've said, grinding it out. Not always going to be a first swing kill situation for the Tar Heels. It could take more than one swing. This time it's Virginia Tech. Yeah, this time it's Virginia Tech down the middle, taking a page out of North Carolina's playbook here in this third set. And just a simple, fast set down the middle for Vipond.
Serco went with the soft touch, and North Carolina wasn't ready.
I like this look from Serco as the ball is a little tight, dying inside just a little bit, but she sees that hole in the defense, so good court awareness.
Destiny Cox this time swinging from the left pin. Her teammates love it.
This could be a real momentum swing as you see the response from her teammates on the big rip from Destiny Cox. Sharp cross court. She finds a piece of that line. Well played.
Service error for the Tar Heels.
Kind of untimely error as well, Courtney. I think that's something that Coach Segula will be addressing. As you can see the sigh there on Coach Segula's face. You know, you get the big momentum swing from Destiny Cox, fires up her teammates a little, and realize very few people in the stands, just player guests. At Virginia Tech, they have to sit 6 rows up. And so these players doing a lot to create their own energy. And sometimes a big swing like that can be just what you need. You don't want to go back and miss a serve when you've created that momentum.
Destiny Cox on the right pin. She can just hit from anywhere. Blocked. It's the Destiny Cox show. Just take over the court.
And here it is again, that North Carolina block, but what great awareness on the part of these North Carolina blockers. They're in a tight base, as you can see, so they're real close to their middle blocker, expecting that pipe shot down the middle out of the back row, and they're able to get 3 blockers up against that. Another block by Destiny on the right side.
And a little too deep on that one, but you know what? She's been working pretty hard. We'll give her that.
Yeah, she certainly has. That's a broken out-of-system play. Certainly one she wishes she had back, as you see her smack her hands together there. When you're playing such good blocking defense, keep that ball in bounds and give your team another chance.
Oh, tough set there from Mitrovic. pass was really tight to the net. This one looks a little better. It's a flat set, though, out to the pin. Hey, props to Parker Austin. Not much she could do there with that, but turns it into a point.
She certainly does, and it was Talon Jackson, 23 and white for Virginia Tech, who came flying in to make a play on that ball. But then Virginia Tech not able to get a second contact. Great effort by Talon Jackson there.
And the first 2 sets between these two teams were really close, but North Carolina has just floored it since we started set number 3.
Don't tell Ashley Holman that. She's not ready to fold quite yet. She does not have the fold mentality. You can see from the look on her face there. She never takes her foot off the gas.
9 kills for Holman tonight. Good recovery. Yeah, by the Virginia Tech defense. Holman, Whirl digs it up. Roll shot from Austin. And longest rally we've had tonight, and it's finished right there. Tone tie off of 1 foot.
Definitely the best rally we've seen over the course of the night. Great patience on both sides of the net. And then Tone Tie, who's been inserted in the match here in set 3. And you see why Coach Segula said his middles are so good on the slide, that they were trying to find ways for them to attack on the slide, even in the 6-2. And Tone Tie showing us how it's done. Great swing down the line.
North Carolina 2 points away from taking the lead in this match. Serve grazes the net but makes it over. Big swing coming from Powell into the net. Set point here for North Carolina. Sydney Reed behind the service line. Wow! Oh my goodness!
Assigned several different service runs from some of their young servers, so really credit them for creating that pressure.
Huntley's serve will go long. We only saw her come into this match in the 3rd set, making her first appearance for the Hokies. She's a freshman, did not play against the Citadel. Huntley's swing is long.
She's also long, Courtney, as you can see. You can see why Coach is probably excited about the future of Huntley. You see that long, athletic frame, and you can only imagine what the future holds for Huntley.
Serco coming off of 1 foot. That's got a little more consistent.
Yeah, Serco actually led this team a season ago in kills. And so she's really a go-to for them with their back against the wall. I would expect their setter to have more and more balls to Serco on the right side, but that is so dependent on first contact. You know, when you see so many swings from the left side, that can be an indicator of a poor first contact and being out of system. So if they can get first contact under control, I expect to see more of Serco here in this 4th set.
Yeah, and if they can control that first contact too, they're going to have 4 weapons because they've got the 3 attackers, because the setter's always going to be back row in the 6-2, and then they've been using Ashley Holman out of the back row as well, and now they've got Sierra Huntley in there.
Yep.
So here comes Melon Mitrovic, the freshman setter. She's looked pretty comfortable in her first career match out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. Ooh, it was going to be tough for Whirl to get after that one. Ashley Holman, a little something extra underneath it.
Homan just unloads on this ball as you get a nice look at the speed of that offense from above. And you saw how quick that set was to the outside. They set her in a gap, meaning she split the space between the outside and the middle blocker and just absolutely no one home. So interestingly, Virginia Tech looking for ways to avoid that Carolina block. And on a good first contact, they can do that with a nice setting choice out there to Ashley Homan.
Kaya Merkler with the kill. Here comes Parker Austin in.
And that looks like Merkler at the net there for North Carolina, who's able to take care of business. Another point for the Tar Heels. And I think that's what's so impressive about this Carolina block, Courtney, is the fact that it's 6 deep. All 6 players getting in on the action.
Destiny Cox continues to go after it.
This is a really pretty swing as you see her elevate there on the right side. Coach said with Destiny, it's all about patience. They know she has the talent, she has the ability. They've had to convince her you don't have to become an All-American in one day. You know, you can kind of slow down and trust the process here.
Just a little miscontact there by Cox. You know, Joe Segula was talking to us a couple of days ago about this match, and his goal was for them to play within the system. Have you seen that from North Carolina so far?
You know, I think we have when they've played well. So I think, you know, in that third set, at times in the first set, the second set got a little sloppy for them. But I think when they've played well, you've seen them have the patience to play through long rallies. You know, realizing that they don't have to score a point on the first swing, that it's okay if it takes 2 or 3 swings, that they might have to live through a rally. You know, that their offense is still evolving and that they can trust their defense to keep them in those long points and ultimately win quite a few points for them, as we've seen such great blocking at the net for the Tar Heels.
And a service error from Merkler, excuse me. And Kylie Thomas comes in for the Hokies to serve. Beautiful, the connection between Whirl and Parker Austin.
And in terms of their system, Courtney, interestingly, you bring that up, and playing within their system, that's a nice high ball to the outside to Austin because it's an out-of-system situation and she's receiving that ball from Whirl. If there's one thing in their system where I think they haven't looked quite comfortable yet, I do think they're trying to play quicker to the left pin. And there's been times where I feel like their outsides haven't looked comfortable swinging at that fast ball for North Carolina, where they're forcing it a little. And so there's a timing issue there that I think they'll have to continue to work out as the season goes on.
Well, this is the first match of the season for North Carolina. They haven't played anybody else, so it's going to be different, too, when you're in practice working on that timing versus in a match and playing somebody else with a little bit of pressure on you.
I'll tell you who's had no trouble with timing at all is number 3 there in black, Tontai, who was inserted to the match there in set 3. She had 2 kills, no errors on 3 attacks, hitting .667 in that third set. She's the lone senior on this team, and she really came in there in the third set and was a difference maker for the Tar Heels. Her timing looks to be right on.
Aristea Tontai out of Greece, a captain for North Carolina. Archer goes behind her. And it's out. Too sharp on the angle from Sierra Huntley.
A glimpse of the athleticism and maybe what's to come for the freshman Huntley, but that one just wide.
This is her first career appearance. She didn't play last week when Virginia Tech played the Citadel. Sydney Reed serving for UNC. Serko battling at the net. Holman out of the back row, up from Whirl. Oh, and Buckner's going to get it done.
And that time, I think you see the speed of the offense for UNC really pay off. As you saw, the Virginia Tech defense in that long rally just didn't have time to set up. And so the quick ball right back at him from Buckner pays off. And interestingly, you see Amanda Fegley there in the front row for North Carolina with Tone Tie, both listed as middle blockers, but they're letting Fegley play on the right side here in this set in order to have those two up at the net together. Talk about good blocking. Carolina just improving their defensive stance with those two side by side.
Yeah, that's a wall right there. They're both listed at 6'4".
Little punch shot there to keep it alive by Tonte, and then it's Buckner who finishes it off with, once again, a deep corner shot. As you have just seen, that young freshman with all sorts of range.
Archer to Fegley, blocked by Virginia Tech.
And here's Fegley, who started this match in the middle, now playing on the right side, and maybe a little early as she's used to the quicker timed sets down the middle, probably a little early on that swing, and Virginia Tech all over it with two blockers up and waiting.
Destiny Cox. No, excuse me, Buckner.
Yeah, we've seen Buckner
Are helping them do that in the ACC. This is a big set right here. If North Carolina wins this set, they win the match and win their first match, their opener of ACC play here in the strange year that is 2020 as far as the volleyball schedule. Postma will push it out to that left pin. The block is there, but Ashley Holman didn't mind this time.
Holman does a great job there using those blockers' hands. And out of the timeout, the offense felt a little forced for the Hokies, as though they had decided they were going to use Circle on the right side no matter what. And you could just tell the timing wasn't natural, but that time they looked to be more in the flow of their offense.
Jackson back to Holman and gets a piece of the block again.
Sometimes the best decision is all about finding the hot hand. You can overthink it as a setter. I really think as a setter, you get to looking at the blockers on the other side of the net. You're thinking of all these plays. And really, there are moments in the match where someone's got the hot hand and you've got to feel that as a setter and just keep feeding them the ball. And you kind of feel like that's where Holman is right now.
Playing to 25 here in this fourth set. If you're looking for all ACC, that's coming up as soon as we're done here in Blacksburg, Virginia. We'll get you there with Dalen and Jordan once we get a winner here in this ACC opener for these two teams. That's a nice looking swing from Angel Robinson.
Yeah, and we've talked throughout the course of this match about the fact that there are new middles on the floor for both teams, Robinson being one of them. Didn't play in a lot of sets last year for the Hokies, but a big role for her here this season. They're hoping that she can really live up to it.
And so Virginia Tech called for interfering with the set there, and that's a point for North Carolina as Angel Robinson got a little too far over.
You gotta like the aggressive play out of the middles, but yeah, that's a tough one when you feel like you're gaining some momentum. You get called for over the net. You gotta be patient there in the middle.
Huntley is blocked. Destiny Cox has been a beast over there on the right pin.
She is really so strong. You see how far over the net she's able to reach with those hands. She's not just up high. She is reaching over, leaving absolutely no room for those pin players to swing.
And that follows up with an ace. Wow, North Carolina has all the momentum right now.
And the serving and blocking here late in this match for North Carolina has really been the difference. You know, the good serving feeds the blocking momentum seems to feed confidence from the service line, and so they've just been able to roll points together.
Man, that was a heck of an up, though, from Olivia Diaz to lay out for that, even though Virginia Tech got the point.
Yeah, it really was a great defensive effort just to keep that ball alive, and then they poke it over. I didn't think they had a chance at a second contact on it either.
Extra effort paying off.
Yeah.
It was a North Carolina team who was dealing with some injuries. They didn't have their second setter. She was out with a concussion, had to go to the 5-1, which is something they just weren't as used to as the 6-2, and lost in 5 sets.
Yeah, you know that had to be pretty disappointing for North Carolina to finish that high in the standings and yet finish on such a sour note. And so Coach said, you know, it would be nice to play well to follow that up from a season ago. And here's a nice tempo set to the outside, starting to create some of that tempo on the left side that Carolina's hoping for. And that time it's Buckner on the receiving end of that set.
Man, the ups from Destiny Cox, but it's long. Point for the Hokies. Tone tie is wide.
I believe her first error of the match. As we said, the only senior on this UNC team. She was their block leader a season ago. So this is a team who has a lot of depth in terms of size up at the net.
Overpass from Whirl, and Virginia Tech takes advantage.
This is a really nice serve, just a low flat driving serve that kind of eats Whirl up. And you know, Whirl, who's asked to just absolutely anchor this UNC passing line, has been phenomenal all night.
Man, it was another overpass, but this time North Carolina is able to recover. It is match point right now for the Tar Heels. Corinna Whirl with the service. Ashley Holman tools the block. Still match point for the Tar Heels.
And didn't you have a feeling that ball would go to Ashley Holman? I think if I'm a setter, I'm finding Holman on match point, because you know that she is one who's not going to back away from the challenge.
14 kills for Holman. A little rough set there. But Virginia Tech has to send it right back. Coming off a 1-foot Merkler. Oh, Whirl lays out for it, but they can't hustle enough to get it back over. Wow, what the effort, impressive.
The layout from North Carolina. Match point on the line. And interestingly, Courtney, Carolina has gone into a 5-1 here late in this match.
Hey, how about that right there? The freshman in her first match seals the deal, and North Carolina gets the win.
And a lot to be happy about with that swing, because Carolina wanted to play within their system, and part of their system this year is going to include fast play to the pins. How about